Hey everybody, welcome to today's show. My name's Jonathan. As always, I got the Masters crew with me, the Doc, Alec. What's up, guys?
How we doing?
What's up?
Real good, man. A lot of stuff happening in the NFL. Free agency starting to wrap up. Still a few key guys out there.
Yep.
But want to do a trade show. Look, some guys we're thinking you should go get now that free agency is almost done. Maybe some guys' situations have changed. Going to jump right into this. Whichever one of you guys want to go first.
Sure. I'll kick us off.
Sure.
So a guy who I've actually been, towards the end of last year, just trying to get him in like throw-in deals, just as basically trying to get him for free. But that was Chase Edmonds. I just wasn't sold on Kenyon Drake long term. Was super happy when Cliff Kingsbury came out early in the offseason and said, we feel comfortable if Chase Edmonds, was our guy that he could be the starter. Sure enough, they let Kenyon Drake walk, who signed with the Raiders. For those of you who hadn't seen. Don't get me wrong. There's a very good chance Chase Edmonds could get outplayed by a rookie they draft. I'm sure they're very likely to draft a rookie. And if a guy like ETN lands there, it's going to be a huge blow to Chase Edmonds. But I still think you can get Chase Edmonds relatively cheap. I feel like his value hasn't shot up like crazy. You might not be able to get him just as a throw-in anymore. But I'm thinking maybe a second rounder. And, for the upside that he shows, I think he fits that offense really well. He can catch the ball well. They spread it out. That one game he started in New York against the Giants, he went off like 2 years ago. So I'm getting Chase Edmonds while I can. I think a second rounder might be enough to move the needle and grab him from one of your league mates.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I expect a lot from Chase Edmonds this year. They've kind of kicked around the idea and talked about it too. They seem to be okay if he ends up being the starter. And I don't see how they couldn't be because he's produced every single year. I think he's worth a shot as the starter in Arizona, and I think he would absolutely dominate. And I would say, he's still probably relatively cheap.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think it would take more than a second round pick.
Yeah.
I think a first would be too much.
Yeah, I would
first would
agree.
be too much just because there's too many running backs they could draft who I think would
Right.
be better long-term options. But
Yeah, definitely.
And sticking with that Arizona team, since we're talking about it, another free agent signing they had there.
Yeah,
I was
there you
wondering-
go.
Yeah, my guy AJ
Yeah.
Green. I'm just wondering your guys' thoughts on it.
So I like it. I don't think AJ Green has much left. I know that hurts you because I know you love AJ Green.
I do.
I think as a whole, it just kind of helps the offense and helps Kyler Murray. If AJ Green's healthy, he's just going to help spread out that field a little more. I think a lot of four wide with Hopkins on one outside, AJ Green on the other, and then some of the smaller guys like Kirk and Isabella in the slots. I think that's just a dangerous offense. I think it's really good news for Kyler Murray, but I'm not out there trying to get AJ Green quite yet. I just don't think there's much left. But.
Yeah, I agree with Al to an extent. I do think he's a really good fit for that offense. I don't know if that'll translate to fantasy points, but I think just the style of receiver that AJ Green is kind of the style that we kind of wanted to see Arizona add, just to kind of complement both Hopkins and Kirk in the slot there. Again, I'm not sure how much he'll produce. He seems to be the one big guy they have, so you'd think at least maybe a couple of touchdowns.
Right,
Yeah. And who knows? If he could stay on the field for 16 games, which has been a problem for him the last few years, who knows what can happen? He could easily put up big numbers because he won't be the main draw there on defenses.
Right.
It's going to be Hopkins. So.
Right. And I think, if he can be healthy, and I don't think you'd have to pay a ton for him.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's worth going to offer a third-round pick for
He
him.
might be a free
Might
agent.
as well.
Leagues, but third rounder, I think.
If you believe in Kyler Murray to be as elite as most people do, this is going to be AJ Green's first time, with being number two.
Yeah.
And I think if you go back and look at it, I know people probably hate me for saying this, but he might be the best wide receiver on the field.
Whoa.
No, I'm saying in their prime.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can make a case for AJ
Yeah.
Green being just as good as Deontay
Sure, yeah,
Johnson.
you can make that
Not
case.
now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's still? You could make the
You
case.
can make a
I'll
case
say
for
that.
it.
Yeah.
All right.
All
All
right.
right, let's move on.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So my pick here for this episode isn't actually someone that went anywhere. It's someone staying right put, similar to Al here. I'm going with Tyler Higby. Gerald Everett was the main competitor at tight end and kind of ate into Higby's targets at times when he was healthy, and now he's gone. He's in Seattle. I think Seattle, that's fine for Everett, but I think the Rams benefit big time, especially with adding Matt Stafford. Higby's going to be the one, too, that I think sees a big uptick in targets. He did have a little bit of, chemistry with Jared Goff, which it'll be interesting to see how he pairs with Stafford. But at the same time, there's a lot of weapons at receiver. Higby seems to be really consistent and a real PPR threat, too. I mean, he really gets open a lot. Got a lot of catches with Goff. I'd like to think they're going to utilize him in a similar way now. And now there's no Everett to eat into his targets at all. Depending on how Stafford and him click, that could be a really big opportunity because right now, I mean, he's going to be dirt cheap because, he's been really hit or miss in the last season after a great end to 2019. I think he's got a potential to end up as a top 5 tight end. Considering, tight end's pretty weak, I mean, he could very easily end up top 5, I think. And it's funny, too, because I think a year ago we were both kind of on him a little bit saying he wasn't worth it.
Last year you were out on Higby.
Which I think that's the awesome thing about Dynasty is,
things change.
At the end of 2019, I think he was really overvalued because he finished so strong. Mm-hmm. But then, he has a quiet year last year. Now he's a huge, buy candidate, very undervalued. Gerald Everett leaving, as you mentioned, I think is huge. He kind of always reminded me of a poor man's Kelsey, just the way he plays a little bit.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, so I'm all for really all the tight ends kind of you just mentioned in there, talking about, obviously Tyler Higby in Los Angeles with Matthew Stafford, now Gerald Everett in Seattle with Russell Wilson, and then also, Jared Goff comes over to Detroit. I still think T.J. Hawkinson's a good player. Definitely, I mean, he's a really good player. I think Goff will find him to be one of his favorite targets. So I think
doesn't have much left. So
all three of those tight ends are like really good buy candidates.
Yeah, I like that too.
All right, I'm just gonna throw. I think it's an under the radar move, and I mean here I go picking old guys again. I actually had someone different, but since you guys gave me such a hard time with AJ Green, I'm picking another old guy. And listen, I'm not definitely don't pay a bunch to get him. But if you could maybe get him for a 3rd round pick, I think he's going to be a sleeper pick this year. That's going to be Marvin Jones and Jacksonville.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm looking at Trevor Lawrence coming in. I get it, DJ Shark, LaVisca Chenault. I mean, both younger guys.
Right.
I think the experience, Marvin Jones being the veteran of the group, is going to help him out quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see Trevor Lawrence lean on him, quite a bit, especially early in the season. And he's just talented, man. I mean, 3 of the last 4 seasons, he's had 9 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he'll get the 9 this year, but I do think he's definitely going to be a guy that you'll be able to use. Maybe not every week, but definitely during bye weeks. And I think he's going to be shockingly good in that offense, actually.
Yeah, so I like that take a lot. And just hearing you mention Marvin Jones and, some of those touchdown numbers he had, when he was with Matthew Stafford, makes me think another old guy you might like for a 3rd round pick, Desean Jackson signing with the Rams with Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
That deep threat. I know he's had a really hard time staying healthy and staying on the field, but, I mean, there's going to be a couple of games Desean Jackson has a couple touchdowns.
Right.
But then the other 14, he's probably not going to play. But
he'll be on my bench.
Yeah.
I'll start on the next week.
I think they're both kind of going to be in that same, same boat, so to speak. I feel like they're going to be probably the 3rd best receiver on their team, just kind of where they are in their career, in terms of dynasty value too. But I think they'll both have games where they put up big numbers, and I think the quarterbacks are going to lean on them a little bit in those situations. I don't know that it'll be consistent enough to start them every week, but you could get lucky. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm actually going to make a prediction on all 3 of them old receivers. See if you guys agree or disagree with me.
Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna say Marvin Jones, the most catches and yards. AJ Green, the most touchdowns, and Desean Jackson has the 2 highest scoring fantasy games out of the 3.
I like that actually.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't hate that.
Yeah.
All right, that's my prediction for the old guys at the wide receiver next year. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you could, hit the like and subscribe button. If you're looking to get in the new Dynasty League, we got over 600 of them, never folded a single one, posting fresh orphan teams daily. Appreciate you so much for watching. That's all we got, guys.
Boom.